Now, what I want to do is do work on some workflow diagrams together, and then I want you guys to do some of these on your own as well. So let's open up draw.io with you guys.
Sarah,
Yeah.
yeah, please, I just want to confirm that this workflow and the use case diagram, will I say that they are for validation, to validate the requirements I've gathered?
So use case diagrams are used to identify functionality.
Mm-hmm.
And also used to identify how that particular functionality is going to be used by the different users of the system.
Yeah.
So this one here on the left-hand side, these are known as primary actors. And these are on the right-hand side are known as secondary actors. Primary actors are actors that are like the main users of the system. Right? These will be your stakeholders that use the system day in and day out. And secondary actors, an example of a secondary actor could be like leadership that only wants reports for the work that's happening.
Okay, thank you. Well, I know that this is, I'll do this after I've gathered the requirement. Am I right?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
So you do use case diagrams before you begin requirements.
Oh. Okay.
Brainstorming before the project starts.
Okay.
So Sarabji, are you saying that when you do use case diagrams, that's just to like identify what needs to be done?
Yes.
Not the steps.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So generally done before requirements start. Yep, go ahead.
No, so I'm saying like, is it important to do use case diagram and then follow it with a workflow, or is it just like good practice to do that?
It's good practice to do use case diagrams before.
Okay.
Because generally you can, when you're doing use case diagrams, you're identifying the functionality at a high level. And you're also identifying the users and how they interact with that functionality. So it makes it easy. So you're not going to your stakeholders and say, what do you guys want to talk about? What do you guys want in the system?
Okay. So that's kind of like your groundwork you do before you meet with the stakeholders? Okay. And I think it's more relevant for new projects, like when it's a new project.
New or enhancements.
Okay.
Right. So when you're doing enhancements, you may have a lot of this already, you know, like at least the actors and secondary actors identified, but this would include the functionality that we're building in.
That's why, okay, I was gonna come to that. Okay.
Yeah. And if you have that groundwork and you know the system and you know the users, then you know this becomes super easy. Now, if they're building something brand new,
right,
or in my case, you know, in the call center environment, I don't know the call center environment, right? But you know, we could have had a use case diagram session where I could say, hey, like, what do you guys really want in the system? And those would be that would be my functionality. Okay, now that we know we need to receive calls, who are the primary actors? Our call center agents, right? Who's a secondary actor? And so agents and their managers. And then who's a secondary actor? Okay, leadership, because they just want reports on how many calls were handled, what was the average call handle time, you know, was the issue resolved? Did people fill out the survey, right? So it makes it easy. So again, think of use case diagrams as like brainstorming before you start diving into the requirements.
Right. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So these come first. So generally done before requirements start. And maybe you could even say done in the planning phase. right? So maybe I should put these above the workflow diagrams. And then workflow diagrams is where you try to showcase step by step on how a system needs to work.